So Athena is a non-bank digital mortgage provider. We have been open to the public for about 4 years and we've originated about $6 billion worth of home loans. There's really three parts to our strategy. One is to have a great customer proposition. By proposition, we mean great rates, but we also mean fairness and transparency in those rates. The secondly is we're using technology. We built our systems from a blank sheet of paper using 21st century technology. That allows us to be efficient, but it also allows for a great customer experience and a great broker experience. Thirdly, funding. So obviously that's the lifeblood of our business, and we are innovating in a customer side of the business, but also on the funding side of our business. We're relying on securitization markets like other non-bank lenders, but we've also innovated into whole of loan sales as a method to provide liquidity to our business. Well, there's sort of three big things we had to do. So firstly, we had to build the platform. Secondly, we had to build a consumer brand so that we could sell mortgages into the market. And then of course, we had to secure funding. And so we've had huge challenges in each of those pieces. And then fortunately, we were able to partner with great businesses such as Perpetual there to help us on the third of those, the funding side, which in some ways is the biggest challenge for a small operation. So we needed partners that sort of believed in us from the start. Perpetual is a really important partner for us. When we were nothing but a PowerPoint presentation, we had really advanced conversations. Perpetual invested a lot of time in us, even when we were a small startup, and that was really important to us because I can tell you other players didn't invest that sort of time in us. So Perpetual helped us really crack the most difficult part of starting a mortgage business, which is to get on the first rung of the funding ladder. And then since then, we've broadened our relationship with Perpetual. We've always had Perpetual as a backup service provider, as a trustee partner, but as we've been talking about in terms of our treasury capability, we've since broadened that out, and we're expanding the business we do with Perpetual. So Athena is an end-to-end mortgage company, and by that I mean we're not just originating on someone else's platform. We have our own customer acquisition programs, we have our own origination platform, we have a servicing platform, and then of course we have our own funding program. And when we talk about digitization, we're talking about digitization across the full range. So clearly there are benefits up front in terms of customer acquisition and origination, because mortgages are complicated, they traditionally involve a lot of back and forth, a lot of paperwork, and so we've made a lot of investments in our customer-facing assets to digitize, improve efficiency, improve customer experience, both on the broker side and also on the direct-to-customer side. But the back end is equally important, because you think about a lot of organisations, when they talk about digitization, they really are only talking about the customer-facing parts of their business. In reality, when you're a mortgage provider like ours, you've got this huge funding program you need to take care of. And funders, in order to have confidence in a firm like Athena, need to have daily data feeds. There's a wealth of information that you need to cut and provide to funders as part of that program. For us, working with Perpetual on the Treasury and Finance Intelligence System is the way in which we are tackling the digitization of the funding side of our business. That's the piece that's going to allow us to tap directly into our mortgage servicing platform in order to generate the information we need on a daily, monthly, quarterly, 6-monthly basis to provide to our funders, and to increasingly improve access to different pools of capital and make sure that we've got the liquidity we need to grow our business. We're using Perpetual to calculate our expected losses on a regular basis as part of our finance calculations, modelling up portfolios, understanding what the implications of profitability are for the business. We're busy implementing Perpetual's Treasury and Finance Intelligence platform. That's going to allow us to get rid of some residual manual activity there. It's also going to allow us to insource the trust management activity. We're going to be able to connect straight from our loan ledger into that system, which will then automate a bunch of reports that we need to provide to regulators as well as funders. We think this is going to really put us at the forefront of automation in the Treasury space. In Australia, about 95% of mortgages are written through the banking system, and that's just not the case in overseas markets. So in America, non-banks write about 70% of mortgages. In parts of Europe, There are pension funds and insurance companies that have their own sort of mortgage origination capability. So you're sort of matching those long-dated assets to long-dated investors in those markets, and you're bypassing the bank system. We've already done that with a couple of transactions, including the Newcastle Permanent partnership that we announced a few years ago. So we already have tested that space. We think that could be much larger. So we think there could be a marketplace for loan portfolios. We think that would sort of have a number of benefits. And we think that in terms of the innovation and the drive towards automation in Treasury, Perpetual is going to be a key player. In terms of where we see the vision of a marketplace for loan portfolios, we think Perpetual will play a big role in that as well.